The Hilltop Glove podcast is sponsored by Mid Carolina Service Company.
Mid Carolina Service Company is the first name to search for your residential or commercial HVAC needs in Lexington and surrounding areas.
Just go holler at Jason and Clint. They'll hook you up on the air conditioners, on the restaurant equipment, refrigerators, refrigeration, ice machine repair. They've been doing this for years. I know them cats forever.
Family owned and operated since 2006, they pride themselves in their quality work and customer relationships. Call 803-356-4153 or visit midcarolinaserviceco.com for a no obligation quote for service today.
The Hilltop Glove podcast is sponsored by True Brilliance Entertainment.
True Brilliance is a production, promotions, and management company dedicated to connecting artists and producers across the Carolinas to music industry professionals.
Several of their clients have placements both domestic and internationally as a result of their services.
Are you an artist or producer looking to build meaningful relationships within the music industry? Then True Brilliance is for you. Check them out at paramilitary.com. That's spelled Paira military.com.
Welcome to the Hilltop Glove podcast.
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 The Hilltop Glove Podcast.
All right, and this is the Hilltop Glove podcast. Just a quick drop. We're in this beautiful space today. Beautiful space. Seriously, one of the best spaces we've been in a long time outside of our normal locations. We love our normal locations, but we also like to go and switch it up and see other businesses and what other folks have to offer here in Columbia specifically. And just so you all know, today we are at the Atelier on Forest Drive, 2524 Forest Drive, Columbia, South Carolina. I think we have agreed upon the zip code being 29204.
Gets a little funky on this side of town.
Yeah, there's little things going on, but
Google it, you'll find it.
Please do.
This place is amazing. The vibe here is great. There's jazz usually playing, and there's leather work, and there's cigars and wine, and these furnishings that I wish were in the house.
Fine furnishings.
And everything's for sale.
Yes.
And lots of local crafted goods here. It's a really nice space.
And specifically, the owner or the operator out of the Atelier, which is French for the workshop, is Laddie Howard. And he is a fine leather artisan himself. And a lot of the products that you will see in here, you can buy those things directly from this shop or online as well. They are available these things are awesome. The scents.
Oh yeah, the smell in here is amazing.
I'm telling you. And you can purchase the scents. Just so you know, you can purchase the scents that are in here. But it is also a fine place to come to for local events that are hosted here. Very intimate setting. Not a lot of rebel rousing or anything like that.
No, this is a grown and sexy, classy place.
Classy place.
Absolutely.
So, we just want to make sure we give a shout out. So that you all know where to come find it again. This is going to be the Atelier, and it's 2524 Forest Drive, Columbia, South Carolina, and I'll be in the 29204 zip code. Thank you. All right, and I'm going to let that take some time so it can mellow out, and then we're going to do a 3, 2, 1, and we're going to drop in, and we'll go right into the background, and we'll move from there, okay? And I got this. 3, 2. Welcome to another episode of the Hilltop Glove podcast. I am DJ and what?
I'm Mike.
And today we have the pleasure, I will say, of having a very well-known guest for our Columbia audience. And for those who do not know and may not have heard of her, we are sitting down with Miss Popular, also Miss Nudira Tapia. I've been trying to not mess that up the entire time. I've been thinking about that all night. I've actually been really worried about saying your name improperly. I hate to do that to folks. But we will acknowledge you for the remainder of this episode as Miss Popular. If that's okay with you.
Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Now, as I get better, I will also use your other names, your nickname, you know what I'm saying? But once I get comfortable.
No
Um,
problem.
but born in Puerto Rico, she was raised in the Bronx. She's now rooted in Columbia, South Carolina. Miss Popular is carving out her own lane as a podcaster, entertainer, and creative visionary. With her most popular podcast, she's building a platform that shines light on underground talent, entrepreneurs, artists, and entertainers who deserve recognition but don't always get the spotlight. And that is well understood. That is very understood. Known for her vibrant energy, loyalty, and no nonsense approach, she's not afraid to address the tough topics, from the realities of social media to navigating male dominated industries. Today, we're going to explore her journey, her vision, and what most popular really means.
Oh,
How are you doing today,
hello,
sister?
hello. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome.
Thanks for being here.
Appreciate it.
Nah, because anytime someone wants to take time, which you cannot
Mhm.
replace, out of their busy schedule to sit down with us lowly servants of the population,
No,
we
you guys,
appreciate it. No, I tell my
listen,
brothers
we
all the time.
matter.
I know we matter. It surprises me every time someone's like, yeah, we'll come speak with you. Even though we've been doing this for 5 going on 6 years,
Wow.
it still is always a surprise.
No,
And
It's
I mean,
always an honor to have
yeah,
guests.
and I want to
Yeah.
stay humble.
for sure.
It's about staying humble. So we do appreciate everybody that does pour in and gives us energy. So we always like to say thank you and give you your flowers while you're here with us.
Thank you.
Certainly. And we're going to start off, as we do with each episode, with a small history lesson of your experience and your upbringing so that our audience can get to know a little bit more about you behind the facade. So if you
Okay.
could just tell us a little bit about your childhood experiences, who or what influenced or inspired you growing up?
Okay. Well, I mean, growing up in the Bronx, New York, there's a lot of things to do.
Yeah,
You know, it's
yeah,
a city that never sleeps.
all busy.
Yes. And you know, being in a household that we never slept either because my dad, like I said, he's a musician. My mom, she was a cook, feeding the entire neighborhood. Literally,
Hey,
like I'm not exaggerating. Um, there was always parties and guests and family members, so there was never any peace. But it was good. It was good unpeace. If that makes sense.
there was never any peace. Oh my Lord, Jesus.
I mean, I don't want to complain. You know,
Yeah,
cousins, family members,
Yeah.
friends, the
Yeah.
music, the
Big
food,
family
the
house.
laughter.
Yeah.
You know,
it was
it
good
was
noise.
fun. And I did have a lot of friends. I was very well known, which is how I got the name Most Popular.
Ah,
Um, I was the party girl. I
uh-huh.
was the girl that was having the parties in the neighborhood. So everyone would come to my house. My house was like the chill spot. So you say the hangout spot.
There you
Mm-hmm.
go, kickback.
Yeah.
So we go to hang out and be around other folks. Now, when all this was going on, any siblings?
Yeah. So I'm the oldest out of 6.
Wow.
Well, at that time, it was 5 of us. My mom had a baby later on when I was older.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was 5 of us, and I was the oldest I'm the oldest in my entire generation. Literally, like I'm the oldest everything.
So you're the
So
fire starter.
I was
Fire
responsible
burner,
for
yeah.
everything and everybody,
Yeah.
the
including
matriarch of the family, the next
yes,
generation coming up.
even with the
Yes.
language barrier. You know, my household was a Spanish speaking household,
Yeah.
and my elders they did not speak English. My dad did, but we were not allowed to speak English in my house.
Mm.
So I was the kid that had to go to appointments and this and that to translate for my mom
Mm,
and for my aunts and you know
that's
everyone
real.
else.
Do you
Yeah.
still speak Spanish?
Of course, yeah.
I
Every
love
day,
it.
every
I
day of my
love how
life.
excited. Yo, I like the emotion that came.
Got
Of
it all.
course,
Nope, got it
yes.
all.
Spanish is my first language. Like there was
Yeah.
a time I did not speak English. Like
You could
I
have
have
fooled
friends.
me.
Yeah, I have friends. I remember when I was young, I didn't speak English, and I still ask myself, how were we was friends and understanding each other? And I know
Yeah.
they used to make fun of me. I do remember that.
Uh-huh. Question: do you have like and I guess this is off topic, but my wife she's very good friends with a young lady here in her own friend, they're Puerto Rican, and matter of fact, we're just hanging out with them, and one of their uncles is just telling us like certain things like the grandfather. You talking about being first generation, like the language barrier and stuff, but they were big New York Yankees fans,
Man.
but they call them the New York Yankees.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. You know, then everybody that's from New York, we're definitely diehard Yankees, and
Yeah.
it's because at some point we were the best ones. Like you can't even deny that.
Oh,
At some
I like
point in
how
life,
humble she is.
No,
we
They were
we
the best ones.
were.
You're right.
How,
They're the best. Yeah.
However, I was a Yankee fan just because I'm from New York, but really I was more of an Indians fan at that time. Yeah.
How'd that happen?
Cleveland Indians. I don't know. I remember watching baseball with my dad, and that was always the team that used to intrigue me.
Yeah.
It was weird, and then I ended up living in Cleveland years later, which is weird. And now they're no longer called the Indians.
Yeah, they're not. They're
So it's
not.
just
We don't do
funny.
that. Yeah, I know. You see that it's funny. I know this is totally off the side. I know this topic. We didn't expect to talk about no baseball, but obviously there's some weird pushes to try to put those names back or place them where they were because sadly it was the symbolism behind it
Yeah,
actually did
and I
make
get
some
it.
people feel
Yeah, it
proud
did.
and stuff like that. So it's always an interesting
But there was
situation.
the negative side of it too.
Preach.
The whole Indian
Yeah, man.
situation with the Cherokees, and
Come on, and even like the way that the branding looked. But
Mhm.
beyond that, that's interesting. I always
Yeah.
ask somebody from the Bronx, hey, who's
Still a
you
Yankee
like?
fan
Yeah,
though.
who do
Still
you
a Yankee
like?
fan.
All right, there we go. All right. So with what it is that you do now, and this is always cool. I always think this is awesome to be a podcaster, somebody in media or in the industry. And now you get to sit down, you get to get the interview in. You know,
It
you know.
feels so weird to be honest because I'm so used to, asking the questions and being in control and everything. And I don't normally do interviews. I really don't.
That's why
So
I said
this is
thank you.
special for me. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So it's
I'm not shy.
okay.
I don't know. I'm ready to interview everybody else and bring everybody else to the light.
Well, how did you get started in your podcast?
I started in 2022 was when I aired my first episode. So when I originally got into the entertainment field,
Mhm.
it was as a musician. I
Mm.
was a rapper.
Oh, go ahead.
And I got in the studio and I went to like this I call it music boot camp because I did start late in the game.
Mhm.
And I knew that although I had good music, I knew that I had to freshen up and work on my skills and everything. So I started doing that. Then I moved. Well, I was in Cleveland. I moved back to New York to go, network in this
Yeah.
music industry over there. And then after that, I decided to just come to the South for my
Why?
Did you have any
children.
ties down here?
Why?
No, I did not.
Really?
First of all, I had never been to South Carolina. I've been everywhere else except South Carolina, which is
Yeah.
weird. And I came down here because the job that I had in Cleveland had offered me a position down here. And so I was like, it's okay, I'll come. And when the time came, they were like, well, the contract did not fall through in Columbia. Are you willing to move to Charleston? No, I'm not. I already came here. I'm stationed here. I got myself together here. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stay and see where it takes me.
Mm.
Now I told myself I was gonna only be here 2 to 4 years. And that's how it's been, I'm on my 4th year, so you never
Okay.
know.
All right.
Yeah,
You got
yeah.
time.
So I came down here and I started, I continued my music journey. Obviously, I'm a mom, so I had to get a job, which is
Yeah.
practical. I began to model again because I did not know anybody here. I was like, well, how am I going to network? I just felt like it would be weird of me to just show up to places and say, hey, I'm most popular. And people are going to be like, wait, who are you?
You're the most.
What are you known for?
You say you're the most popular. Yeah.
Well, I'm most popular in my head,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
In my background, in
Yeah.
my past, everything that I've done. And I've done a lot.
Mhm.
The issue is that I've never had social media.
Mm.
So,
Still.
no, I do now. I
Now.
had to.
Yeah.
I came into the social media in 2021 and in 2022.
Okay.
So I was kind of late in the game.
Yeah,
And
you missed a
so,
lot of garbage.
did I?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, believe it. That's not a lie. Yeah, you did well. You missed the garbage.
So I was like, I have to figure this out. And I was like, maybe I should do something that I know I'm good at. And that way I can network and meet people. Oh, also, besides the music, I got into the fashion industry. I started designing and styling.
Ah.
So I was like, the best thing for me to do here, when I did my research here, they were not, I seen that the fashion industry was kind of growing at that time in
Yeah.
2021
Slowly.
here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I was like, let me go back into modeling because I used to model when I was a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
So I started doing that. I started networking and meeting people. And although I model from time to time, it's really not my thing. Like
Yeah.
that's not my end goal. I don't want to be a model.
It's a tool.
Yeah, it's a
Mm.
hobby to me. Something I just like doing it sometimes, if I have to, but it's not something that I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I commend every model out there that is taking it serious because
Yeah,
being a
that's
model
right.
is not easy.
Mm-mm.
And like I tell everybody, you can know how to walk in some shoes, but that doesn't mean you know how to model, which is two different things. So after that, I had to put the music down because it was just not ideal at the time for me. And my kids were getting older, getting into sports, and they just needed more of my time. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to leave the music industry.
Yeah.
What can I do to still engage? And then at that time, I was trying to transition into managing artists
Mm-hmm.
and producing music and writing music for other artists. So I was like, maybe I should start a podcast. I like talking. I've always been a host.
You're good at hosting.
Thank you. So I was like, let me start a podcast. And then I did my research here. There were not a lot of podcasters here.
Mm-mm.
And I was like, let me just do it. And I just did it. And it's been a blessing since.
I do have this question. I know this goes right into like standing out what separates you, but you're Puerto Rican, so you're Afro Latino, and you're coming to the South and you're doing hip hop. How did you? There were two different worlds. There
I'm
were two
glad you
different
asked that
worlds.
question because I know a lot of people wonder.
Yeah.
And I know I'm going to have to face that backlash at some point because
Mm.
it is going to be a backlash. Because, some people may feel like I'm culture vulturing,
Yeah.
but I'm an Afro Latino. I was raised in the Bronx, and everybody knows the Bronx is New York in general is very diverse. There's
Yeah.
blacks, there's
Yeah.
whites, there's Hispanics.
Come on.
I come from a Hispanic/Black neighborhood.
Mhm.
All of my friends growing up have been African Americans,
Yeah.
including Hispanics and not just Puerto Ricans.
Yeah.
I have Mexican, Hondurans.
Preach.
I have all types of, Hispanic friends. Hip hop, I was raised in the late 90s.
Yeah. Yeah.
The time where hip hop era was everything to me. I get passionate with this, because it's just unfortunate that everything is crumbling the way it is, with the artists and, everything that's happening.
Quality.
Because these people were my idols,
Mhm.
specifically him. I'm not gonna lie.
like you said him.
I don't want to say his name, but
Yeah, don't say his name. He that shall not
was
be
my
named.
role model,
I know.
I still love him, but it is what it is.
We separate one thing from the other.
Yeah, good music is good music.
Mhm.
And at that time, hip hop was growing and just everything if you guys are familiar with, that era.
It was a golden era.
It
We
really
finally
was.
outsold country music
Well,
in 1998. Like,
I don't think I
It flipped
realized it at
over.
the time. Like it
Yeah.
felt like hip hop was still the underdog. But
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
looking back on it, like we were at like a really golden age of
Yeah.
hip hop.
fever pitch.
Yeah.
97, 90, no, look, 95, 96,
Preach.
97, 98,
Mhm.
99, all those are the 2000s. After that, for me, things got a little sketchy. I was like, But
Too lean.
those
Got a little too
are
humbling.
everything.
You gotta imagine. I tell people this all the time. You gotta remember, like, you don't think about it. Again, it's about time and place, right? DMX had 2 double platinum albums
Mm.
in the same year.
Right.
Mhm.
You not.
Right.
Oh, I'm gonna wait 3 years. No,
Before internet.
before
release.
internet.
Yeah.
You putting them out back to back like he was a SoundCloud rapper, and they sold like that.
Yeah.
And there's a story they tell about him and like the effects of hip hop during that time, like him being somewhere in Europe performing and him coming out and doing this thing and doing his prayer at the end. And they're talking about these grown, like jacked up dudes in the crowd just crying and stuff because he did a prayer to end all of his
Yeah.
performances.
Right.
And they were just up there crying. Everybody, and they said, and where is that? He said, he was somewhere in Eastern Europe. He said, it didn't make sense. I don't even know if they knew what he was saying.
Right.
It was just the energy.
Like
And
DMX.
that's why I tell people hip hop late 90s was different.
Yeah, it's very
It was
different. And
different.
especially in New York, because all of these people were in New York.
Yeah.
And you could feel it. It's like we were a part of it. Not saying that everybody else wasn't, enjoying it or, but being a New
Epicenter.
Yorker, it was the pride was big,
Yeah.
And I've I've always been the type to hang out with every single person.
Yeah.
I don't care if you was a nerd, because I was a nerd too, when I got into high school.
Blur.
They used to call me gangster nerd.
Oh!
That was my nickname. Because I was a nerd, like I loved school.
Yeah.
But after the bell rung,
It's that culture.
I was in the hallway.
Yeah.
you know.
I was a little ratchet under the nerd. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
So,
Little.
And then, I go home and then it's salsa, it's merengue, it's
Yeah.
bachata, it's Hispanic food. And honestly, I only ate Puerto Rican food all the way until I became a teenager. When I became a teenager, I think at the age of 16 was the first time I tasted soul food.
What?
Yeah.
What?
other
Ooh.
other than Puerto Rican food, the only food I ever tasted was Chinese food. But that's
That's
who
different.
doesn't eat
Everybody
Chinese
say.
food?
I hate to say that again. That's some real New Yorker stuff to say. Yeah, Chinese for Christmas, Chinese for a special event. Going out get Chinese. Kevin will tell you my grandma what she want when she was Chinese food. Like this is what they do if they didn't like
Only
Chinese
that,
food.
but other than that, I did not,
Yeah.
and I was not a kid that would go to people's houses. Like I was always a home, like a house person. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
and my house was the hangout spot, so
Like
everybody
they
was
would come to
always
you.
to my house and eating. Like all my friends ate Puerto Rican food.
What
All
your
of my
mama
friends
made.
learned Spanish.
Yeah.
It was a lot of culture going on. So I never wanted to box myself into just this person. Yes, I am Puerto Rican because I was born in Puerto Rico. That is my heritage. That is my culture. I love Puerto Rico. But, I've indulged in other nationalities and cultures and traditions. I've been a lot of places in the world,
Yeah.
and I don't discriminate against anyone. And I just will hope that everybody accept me how I am, and I respect everybody. I love salsa, but I also love hip hop.
But I'm gonna say
I
this
do.
too, and I guess people don't get this about New Yorkers because there's a perception with New Yorkers and the way they carry themselves and being rude and stuff. But I will tell you this. Y'all are pretty like open about accepting other cultures, so people don't
Yeah.
get, especially with hip hop. And I like the fact, especially being from the Bronx, what people don't get, and there's this whole fight over who owns hip hop and stuff like that. If you were actually one of the folks that was there, and you actually read the hip hop history and the books behind it, everybody had a part. Everybody played a role because everybody was broke. See, this is what people fail to realize. It had nothing to do with it was economics. It was poor white folk, poor black people, poor Hispanic people, poor people coming from Africa. They were all poor. They was poor together in them burnout buildings in Bronx. They're
Yeah.
poor.
All you needed was a radio with a
Say
tape
it.
deck and a pause.
Boom.
There you go.
They wanted to create something to get them out of the feeling of being desperate or desperation. And so they created this amazing art form to help express themselves how they were feeling and also create economics out of it, which was dope. What's sad is that it went regionally in each region. You put your own spice and flavor on it, but then we forget the origin of it. And so that creates to me, it creates unneeded separation. So it's so cool to see you here in the space and doing what you're doing because it helps to bring some of that feeling back to understand that, hey, actually everybody's supposed to be vibing out together.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, your event was so cool because
Thank you.
everybody was enjoying themselves, meeting, talking to each other, vibing. Everybody was mixing, and it reminded me of that feeling in the sense of how hip hop was. Everybody gets
Yeah.
together. We're gonna talk. We're gonna make things happen.
And I'm just very old school. Like I can't
I can
help
tell.
it.
Yeah.
I just can't. Like I still I still listen to Pandora. My Pandora really still has. I'm still playing 90s and hip hop and
Yeah.
R&B. Like I can't help it. I just can't help it.
Yeah.
That will always be in my heart.
And I have a this is just a question about the modeling part, and I know just being professional and doing all these things. What I thought was really cool too, just at your event, and just learning and then seeing it through, following you online, being creepy, looking at stuff.
Oh
Is
no.
you gotta do your ninja stuff, right? Is that the way that you use the modeling to help promote positive body image, self-esteem, strength, beauty, etc., in a variety of women, ages. Like that's what I thought was really cool. And I was telling my wife about this once we came back from your event. I was like, and there was a modeling show there. She said, what? I
Yeah.
said, yes. And I said they had every different type of woman. It wasn't just no regular looking, quote unquote, model women. It was everybody in there. And they were so comfortable and confident in themselves. And the clothes were good too.
And that is why I'm accepted in the fashion industry here, because I don't limit that. When I got into the fashion world, my MO was, this is for the women who've always dreamed of being models, but
Yes.
never had the courage, or were too shy to do it, or felt like they didn't belong because they weren't skinny enough or they wasn't tall enough. No, as we know, fashion has grown and changed so much.
Yes.
It's not about height anymore. And I understand, especially coming from New York. Like I come from,
The
the Mecca of fashion,
Yeah.
and even at that time when I was modeling then, yes, I used to be a tall, skinny girl. So yeah, I did fit right in. But there was rules. It was strict. You had to be a certain height. You had to look a certain way. You had to have a certain look. And I get it, but it's just I feel it's
Mhm.
not fair.
Yeah.
You know,
It's not
mod
representative of people.
it's not. And
Preach.
the truth is modeling is about beauty,
Mhm.
confidence, it is about a walk. That's why there's different types of modeling. There's runway walking,
See, I didn't know this.
there's hair modeling,
Yep,
there's
I didn't know this.
clothing, there's commercial,
Mhm.
but it should be about, building character, and how you can make something look good, whether it's
Yes.
clothing or your hair or jewelry. It shouldn't be about a size of body image. And so that's why people do embrace me, and that's why my models are very loyal to me, and
They
I
are.
love
They
them.
come out of
to-
retirement for
They
this young
they really
lady.
do.
I've watched it. I was talking to the sister lady. She was like, "No, I don't even do it," because she
I
asked. I
love
can't.
them.
Yep.
Like they are my heart, and they know, and everybody that joins, and even my future fashion show as well. It's fashion matters. I'm not gonna say no because I
Yep.
do love clothes. I
Yep.
love fashion. I do,
Mhm.
but that's a different situation. But for my purpose of how I conduct my business when it comes to this fashion world, I don't have a specific look.
Mm.
I'm open to everybody and everyone. I want everybody to get on that runway and rock it.
Go ahead, sister. And I know you aren't lying about that.
Yes.
I know you aren't lying. Now, getting into back into specifically looking at the entertainment world and podcasting, we have to ask these questions. I always like these questions. We got to ask these questions because it's what we do. We got to ask these questions because we are a podcast trying to educate individuals in this particular age range that we call millennials about things that they can do to improve their chances in industries and professions that they want to pursue, right? And one of the things we always like to talk about are the pitfalls, the challenges, etc., so that people do know that even though you're a superwoman, you are human.
Yeah.
And things happen, things come across, and we deal with these difficulties as we're challenging ourselves to get better. So, what kinds of challenges have you faced, and how have you stayed true to your boundaries while you have been building your brand?
Well, like I mentioned before, not having social media, not having any proof, any pictures, any background.
Yeah.
I do have it, but it's not exposed.
It's old school.
Yeah. So it's like, where were you in this year? When did you do this? When did it's me having to prove that I am who I'm saying I am, especially with a powerful name such as most popular. Like, what are you most popular about? And I may sound cocky when I say this, but I'm myself. I'm my brand.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like in my beauty, the way I
Jay-Z
talk, the
wanna
way I
get-
speak.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you. The way I carry myself, that's who I am. And I speak like this now because it took me a lot of years to embrace this.
Yes.
I did my life for so many years and I was so reserved because I wasn't shy, but I didn't want to seem like a snob or too conceited or you know I know I'm pretty, I know I can dress, I know I have it going on, but it's like for some reason when I speak, I overpower a lot, and I know I intimidate people.
Mhm.
And again, I don't take pride in saying this, but that's something that I've had to face.
Mm.
And people, I don't know if it's like I've rubbed people the wrong way, and I could understand me being from New York already, like
They
that
have
already. When you
voice.
say New York, it's
They have
like
the voice.
New
Yeah.
York, like
Oh, she doing that
yeah,
again.
man, it's like
Yeah.
oh, she from New York, or she from New York.
Yeah.
It's 50-50. And then being Hispanic, being Puerto Rican, and it's like the questioning, and I don't want to call anybody ignorant, but people that just don't know, how are you Puerto Rican and you're dark skinned? It's like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot
Yeah.
to take in. But I go with the flow
Yeah.
and I do what I want, and I ignored and black out all the negativity. I don't indulge in that. And I've always been very determined and persistent.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when I want something, I go after it. What I have understood was that sometimes when something is like trying to put a circle inside of a square, and I was that person, like it's
you
gonna
force
fit.
it in there.
Yeah. So now it's more like, okay, let me just put the circle down and let me grab a smaller square and put it inside there. It's not as big as the one I wanted, but it's still it's still a square,
Yeah.
that type of metaphor type thing, and that has helped me a lot too.
Good.
So
Good. Have you? And I guess just I'm gonna hit this question one time. Leave you alone on it.
no, it's okay. Look, bring them on.
So building in with like Southern hip hop acts and energy.
How you
How
trying to
have
get me
you
in
been
trouble
getting?
now? You trying to get in trouble now?
No, this is why I asked this because like we come to your events and I was looking at your events and stuff, right? I was like, she gets a lot of those folks to sign on and come to and operate and do these events. How does that work? You reaching out to them like when they hear you ask them, say, hey, I want to do this. This is my name. This is my brand, and they know you're Puerto Rican, you're Latina, you're coming from the Bronx. You know hip hop. You do hip hop. Do they ever say, man, I don't know. I do a different type of hip hop. I don't know if it's gonna work.
Whew, I've been through that a lot. I'm gonna be honest and very transparent. Like, there's a lot of I love all types of music.
Yeah.
One thing I am a true music head. You see my tattoo right there?
Yeah, see,
I'm a true music head. Like, I love music. But I'm entitled to say, hey, that's not my favorite type of song music. That's
Yeah.
not really my sound.
Sure.
Now, my opinion is that, to me, there's no whack music.
I
There's no
got
such
you.
thing as
I
whack
got you.
music.
Yeah.
Because just because you don't like it doesn't mean trust me, there's 1,000 other people in the world who's gonna enjoy your music.
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta find your audience and your crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Just look at the pop charts.
However, right, for real.
There's a little shade right there. A little shade.
Right.
Take a sip.
But coming from New York, listening to a certain sound, and then coming to the South, there. Not saying that I didn't hear it up there. Of course I did, but
Right.
like, I'm not into crunk music.
Yeah.
No offense.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to get in trouble or anything. And I respect, I respect everybody.
Yeah.
It's not my choice of music,
Yeah.
but I would still support. I would
Yeah.
still big it up. I would still encourage that. If that's what
do.
you want to do,
Yeah.
come on, let's go.
Let's get
We're
it.
gonna get you booked. We're gonna get you a show. Like, that's just how I am,
Yeah.
But it has been a little difficult. Even like when I was an artist, coming down here with my music, it was
Yeah.
just like, oh, this is too
Where
New
we gonna
York,
fit you in?
too New York.
Yeah.
And it's like, that kind of discouraged me too a little bit in the beginning. But I still went into the studio. But the thing about me is, I guess, is my acceptance attitude and the way I still motivate and push people regardless of how I feel about it. How I feel don't matter. Like, this is probably the first time I really spoke about it, voiced it out
Yeah.
loud.
Yeah.
My feelings don't matter, when it comes to somebody else's craft.
That's good business.
Because I'm a supporter.
That's
I'm
it.
here to. I want to see you win regardless. So what I like, who cares?
Yeah.
Well, sometimes people put that energy and that effort into something that might not be your flavor, but it still creates this, like, this epic vibe that's theirs.
Yeah.
And sometimes they just need to be helped.
Well,
that
yeah, and
direction.
yes, of course.
Rushing along properly.
Yeah.
See, what happens with that is it just leads to that gatekeeping situation.
Yeah.
And that I am not. I refuse to be a gatekeeper. Again, if you don't like something, it's okay. Just move around it.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
I think that's important. And that's one thing that I noticed about what you're doing is you don't shut people off. You open doors. Now, the person has to be willing to do the work to step through it,
yeah.
but you will give opportunity. And I thought that was really awesome, especially coming out and having to fit yourself in. Instead of, and this is going to be interesting, instead of you doing what the cheesecake situation that from the band show that occurred, instead of you making it
I would never
harder
do that.
on somebody, that's what I was about to say. You've been making it easier, and I think that's so awesome. And I think just going into this next question about rules to live by, I think that's really cool because obviously folks in the industry, they always talk about fakeness and two-faced behavior. People not being who it is they claim to be, and them not actually following through with the things that they said they were going to do. You deal with that all the time in the industry, right? So obviously,
every industry.
it doesn't matter what it is. Look, I mean, you can make cogs.
right now.
Preach it. You can make cogs. You're going to deal with that issue. But how do you stay authentic and loyal in such environments?
Ooh.
Again, I try very hard. Before I got into this industry, I was already on a verge of cleansing myself. I was going through a spiritual journey where I was, bettering myself. I stopped eating meat. I started working out. I lost a lot of weight. I was asking for forgiveness. Like I just was going through this healing journey
Yes.
before I stepped into this.
Mm.
So by the time I did, come into this and already coming from a musical background with my dad,
Mhm.
growing up, I've had some of the biggest Spanish artists in my house.
What kind of wait, okay.
Yeah,
What instruments was he playing? Tell us
he
that
played.
again.
My dad played the bongo.
Okay.
Bongo. He played the conga. He played the drums. He played all that. But his main instrument
Interesting.
is the
Bongo.
bongo.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm used to that, and another thing, like my brother's Keith Tapia, the boxer. He's not a boxer right now, but if you look him up, Keith Tapia, that's my brother.
Stop. That's your brother?
Yes. And I don't never speak on this because,
You don't.
I don't know. I'm not using nothing and nobody. I'm using myself. And I love my dad. I love my brother. I have other family members. Like my cousin is Larry Ayuso. He was the point guard of the
Shut
Bulls.
up.
I can go on with other people who are celebrities that I'm related to. Um
You better stop
Celia
playing.
Cruz held me when I was a baby. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
I can go on and I've never really spoke about these things. But it's pointless to do that,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I know that me hating or talking down on somebody else, that's not gonna make me better. I've never been that
Facts.
type of person anyway. But the whole putting somebody down to make yourself feel good or pick yourself up,
Yeah,
there's no reason to do that.
yeah.
I do a lot of ignoring, and the reason
That takes maturity. No, tell him that takes
I
maturity.
do a lot of
Yes,
ignoring now, and
yes.
then I say this because, like I said, my healing journey. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I'm just this perfect person because I'm not. I
Yeah,
have a very violent background too.
yeah.
I was a little fighter. I was.
Sprunks.
Right, it's the right. It was in the hood. I was in the hood.
Yeah.
Running around with gang members.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm just no, I'm not.
Not goody two shoes.
I'm not a goody two
What do you
shoes,
call
but
yourself?
I'm
The
a good.
gangster
I was
baby?
yeah, but I was a good girl. That's overall. I really was. I
Yeah,
was a good girl though.
yeah.
But when it came to the fighting, I just no, I didn't play that. I come from a boxing family.
I was
too,
about to
like,
say, I was
and my
looking.
mom,
Yeah, you gotta learn how to throw hands.
like I was always like the referee or
Yeah,
the person. Like, all right, nobody's gonna jump. Nobody like. So because of that, I have to stay grounded and ignore a lot because I know I don't ever want to be that person again.
yes,
I don't want to be seen out there acting and looking ridiculous,
yeah.
fighting at this age, and just messing up my reputation that I worked so hard for.
Radical.
Now, am I a punk? No, I'm not. Would I
Yeah,
let somebody bully me? No. Do people pick on me? Yes. Because I allow them.
you
I
allowed it.
spare a lot of people,
Yeah.
and you got to pick and choose your battles. And I'm not even up there yet. So
Mhm.
if I start coming at everybody for saying this and saying, imagine what about when I get to the top?
Burn all the bridges.
And that I don't do.
Yeah.
I do not bite the hand that feeds me. I do not burn bridges. I just let things go. And if you do something wrong to me, I'll just step away. You do not have to worry about me speaking negative on you,
Mhm.
trying to mess up your name. I don't do any of that. I believe in divine justice. I do. Some people
That's the rule to
dislike
live
that I'm
by.
like that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Especially my mom. She'd be like, that takes too long. I'm like, okay.
Mama said that takes
My
too
mom
long.
divine justice takes too long. I say, listen, sweet revenge is sweet revenge. Listen, I'm not a revengeful person. I'm just
Yeah.
not. And by the time the revenge comes, I'm like feeling sorry for you. Like, I'm sorry. Can I help you? Like, man, I wish
Yeah.
this never happened to you. So
Yeah. I
it is
think it's
what
a
it
good
is.
rule to live by. It takes patience. It takes maturity.
It's mature.
Growing.
That's
Yeah, it's very
that's what it
mature.
is.
Always been matured for my age. My dad taught me patience at the age of 14. I've always had to play the role of a leader and a ruler,
I can
you know.
tell. Oh, I can
So
tell.
that
Yes.
by the time I'm older, it's just like, okay, you know what to expect and what not to expect. And
Mhm.
again, to be a leader, leading is more than just telling people what to do,
Uh-huh.
You have to set an example. And I've
Mhm.
always tried to be a role model to my siblings, to my cousins, to everybody. And I don't want to build something and then watch it crumble over nothing,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Does it take a lot of, well, obviously it takes a lot of energy, but is there a lot of stress in being that leader, being that role model? Especially you're already older sister. I hate to say it.
I
Yo,
don't.
you're the elder. Yeah, like
And the oldest of your generation.
yeah,
That's a
like
big family. That
yeah.
puts you in a spot.
I'm in a master's program now, and I'm getting my master's in trauma-informed education.
Awesome.
You know, so in this program, I'm learning so much about trauma.
Mhm.
I'm acknowledging a lot of traumas that I've experienced, things that I never even realized were traumas.
Mhm.
So it's like this Pandora box I'm opening up now, you
Yeah.
know. And thank God for all my experiences. You know, I'm handling it well.
Mhm.
But growing up with all those titles and all that power,
Yes.
there was a lot of secondhand trauma,
Mhm.
a lot of secondhand trauma that I go through.
Mhm.
And I always had this idea that, well, since I didn't grow up in an abusive household, since I had good parents, you know, I didn't have no trauma. Everything was perfect in my house.
Yeah, that's not how it
But
works.
that's not how it works, you know.
Mm.
So now I'm dealing with all of that. And obviously, you know, the things that has happened to me along the way too, you know,
Yeah.
especially recently, you know.
Yes.
So it's been tough, but I love to laugh and smile.
Mhm.
Like that's my thing. Even when I'm angry or nervous, like I use humor to mask how I really feel.
Look,
So
as many of us do, as many of us do, and we must. I
That's the
mean,
way.
if we don't, we will. You gotta laugh sometimes to keep
yeah.
from crying, especially in current circumstances and situations that are going on.
Oh,
Whew,
Lord.
whew. You gotta do it because stuff don't make sense.
We out here in
It don't make
Bizarro
sense.
land.
Yes, we are in Bizarro Land. Literally, that is
Bizarre
the name of
land,
the
I like
amusement
that.
park that we now live in.
Mm.
But with that being said, I do want to briefly touch on some events going on upcoming that may have occurred. If you could just tell our audience a little bit about some of the things that you have been doing recently.
So like I said, I've been busy being a mom. School, you know, is a online program,
Yeah.
so it's a little tougher, you know. I've been working on a fashion show that I have coming up November 2nd,
Oh, congratulations.
2025. Thank you.
Hey.
Very excited for this fashion show. It's a little different, you know. It's called the I Am a Beautiful Survivor fashion
Yes.
show.
Oh.
So everybody bring your best purple. There's no competition this time like the
Yeah.
last one.
Yeah.
But this fashion show is significant because we're honoring domestic violence victims, you know, survivors and family members that have lost loved ones due to the violence.
Mhm.
And it's open to I'm really looking forward to seeing victims and
Yeah.
survivors walking the runway.
Yeah.
But anybody can do it, you know.
Okay.
You just have to wear purple. And it's just an opportunity, you know, domestic violence is different in every situation, you know.
Yeah.
But what I do know that in the end, you feel weak, you feel ugly, you feel lost, you feel unwanted, you know, because of the different abuses, you know, that people experience. So I just want to use this fashion show as a way to uplift people
Mhm.
and give them that opportunity to walk with confidence and feel beautiful. Like it doesn't matter if they called you ugly, if they called you fat, if they said you don't look as good or you don't have the body,
Yeah.
you know, walk, walk with a purpose and show everybody that you are beautiful.
Mm, mm.
So that's the purpose of the I Am a Beautiful Survivor fashion show.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
It
awesome.
is.
And then
Yeah.
just because I know we have the camera over there pointing at you, but if folks want to be a part of it, because I know we're going to try to get this out, just so if you could tell folks where it's going to be located at the time, and if they want to get in contact with you about
Yes.
possibly registering to be in it, how can they do that?
Yes, this fashion show is definitely open to everyone in Columbia, South Carolina, or in any nearby cities. I do have a lot of models, but I'm not going to close that out because, again, it's not a formal fashion show where there's going to be designers and you have to run back and change your hair, your outfits. So there's not going to be any of that, which is going to be a smoother process, you know. If you are interested in being a guest or being a model or participating in any other way, you know, performances, poetry, there's, different acts, please reach out to me at Most Popular Podcast on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or wherever. My YouTube page, Most Popular, the #1 podcast.
All right.
And it's going to be in Columbia, South Carolina.
Is there a cost for
Yeah.
the door?
Yes, it's a $10 entrance fee
That's not
for
bad at all.
everyone. Yes.
That's not bad.
And there is going to be a food truck available. So I'm excited
Awesome.
for that too.
Do you know who the food truck's going to be? Or
I
we have to
do,
wait to
but
know?
I do. I can't remember. It's called Duke something. I forgot what it's called. But
Is
it'll
it
be there.
not Duke's Barbecue, is it?
Yeah, I think it
That's a
is.
soft one. That's that place. Never mind. That's off.
Right.
Don't even worry about that. We gotta really go check
I
these
hope
people
I'm saying
out.
that correct, but yes,
All
I'm
right.
excited, Liz. I'm
Okay.
excited.
We love
Yes.
local food, right?
Yeah, we do, man. We do.
Check out all the spots.
We'll say this. In Colombia, some of the best food you're gonna get is gonna be in a food truck.
I think that's anywhere.
But
We didn't
Food
used
here-
to have them,
we-
though.
yeah, we didn't used to
Okay,
have
okay,
them.
okay.
These are relatively new.
New,
to
yeah.
Colombia,
Okay.
yeah.
So that's
I was
what
raised with food trucks.
See, that's what I'm saying. So for us, we're really excited about it. I know it makes my wife's day. She loves food trucks because they're good because she gets angry at a lot of the restaurants that are brick and mortar. She says they aren't as good as they
Aw.
need to be, but the food trucks always rock it out.
Yeah, food
So,
trucks
yes,
be good.
yes. So this is one of my favorite questions to ask, and this is one of the questions you've been asking since the beginning. How do you find balance between work and your personal life?
Let me see. I'm a mom first always.
That's what I was wondering.
Like I'll drop everything and anything, and I've had to give up opportunities and made some people upset at me. Like, how could you pass on this opportunity? Because I'm not missing my son's track meet. I'm not
Mm.
missing my daughter's game. I'm not, so I definitely try to live a normal life, wake
Mhm.
up in the morning, get ready, get the kids ready for school, go to work, come home, and afterwards is when I, get into everything else. I definitely prepare beforehand. I try to plan ahead of time.
Did you prepare for us?
Yes.
Are you ready for the question?
Yes,
The most
always.
important one I'm about to ask now.
I'm always prepared.
I'm just teasing. Keep going.
I'm
She was ready, y'all. Just to let y'all, she
See,
was
I'm
playing. She was ready. She was
I'm
ready.
ready.
Okay, continue. You continue. All right. So that's how you balance those things.
I
That's
just
a
try to
lot
live,
going on.
I don't get beside myself.
Yeah.
Not at all. I do multitask a lot, which I'm really good at that too.
Okay.
Although sometimes I've realized that I've had to relax. But it's just like if it's happening, if I'm able to do it, why not? People like, you need to calm down, you're doing too much. No, you're doing too much. Don't tell me I'm doing too much. I know when I
Because
can't
you'd be
handle
like,
it.
they'd be like, relax, and you'd be like, no.
I know
You
look,
handling it.
I'm hyperactive anyway, so
The more you
I
can
can't help
do
it.
at one time, the better.
Yes.
It actually relaxes you, which
It
is
does.
weird. No, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to learn that. Yeah, my wife. That's what. Yeah, it relaxes them. So get more to do
But
at once.
I do respect and understand the indulgement of falling back from things
Yeah,
and how much more zen I could feel when I'm doing less.
yeah.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
I do respect that.
Do you think some of that has to deal with your upbringing and the city that you were raised in?
For sure.
You know how to
That's
say
a lot to
nature
do with
versus
it.
nurture?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I cover my household where somebody's taking a shower, somebody's in the same bathroom. While somebody's taking a shower, somebody's brushing their teeth, and somebody's taking a poop at the same time.
It ain't no problem. I just keep rolling.
Just keep
That's what you
rolling.
got to do.
Yeah, I know. All right, no,
Traumatized.
I had this question I always like to ask folks who had a majority of their life raised up north and then come south. There's this explanation that Andre 3000 has of the difference between the north and the south, and it makes sense. And I want to see if this makes sense to you. So he says that like being in the north, it's like everything is tight and it's crammed in, and it's loud in a good way. Like it's just like good white noise.
Yeah.
But he said like down south, everything's spaced out, quiet, and not in the sense of like quiet, like, oh, it's like bad quiet. It's a good
Right.
quiet and calm. Is that how you've experienced the difference between the north and the south just for you being here for the period you have been?
Yes and no, because being in the entertainment industry and being around musicians and the music and
Mhm.
always constantly talking,
Yeah.
not really.
Yeah, that's what I was
Right,
wondering.
right.
Like,
I guess,
do you find? Yeah.
I guess only when I get home, and even when I get home, my kids want to talk me to death, and it's
Oh.
just like I don't really have quiet time, honestly. I
Okay.
really don't.
Wow. So you're just busy. All right, guys, I had to ask that.
Constant. It's
Yeah.
weird, And then when I do get it, I'm just like looking at the four walls. I don't really watch TV. Never been a TV person.
Yeah.
So
You
it's
need
just
you
like,
something to do.
I do.
Girl, you need something to do. I ain't even gonna stop you. You
I
keep working. I ain't
do.
gonna stop you. Because you have those people like literally don't stop them from working because as soon as you do it, they get sick and they die. So you
Right.
just keep letting them roll. They'll do that through their 90s.
Now I
Do what
travel
you
a lot, so that I have to say,
Mhm.
I do have a lot of fun. Like I said, I've been a lot of places in the world.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna sit here and say I don't have fun, but I
Does the
am
travel help balance it?
yeah, it does. But I'm a loner too.
Uh-huh.
So I don't really have people in my space, in my personal space. Like I'm really always by myself,
Gotcha.
just me and my kids. And if my kids are not around, I'm really by myself.
So you get your quiet. You get your peace. Your
I do,
regeneration.
but just like I get bored easily. I don't know.
Mhm. That's good.
keep going. Some
So I
people
love
just-
cleaning, so I'm gonna start
Hey.
sweeping, mopping, washing. I can't help it.
Cleaning relaxes me.
Me, yes.
Yeah, it recharges me to clean.
That's good.
Yep. Well, any
So,
questions, Mike?
how do people find you now that you're on social media? What are your, drop all the things.
You know, when I got on social media, people were like contacting my personal number, like, "Hey, I think somebody's created a fake," which that has happened to me. No, that happened to me in the past.
Yeah.
People throughout my years when I was not on social media, 3 times people created a fake page with my pictures.
You really were the most popular. You know
Yeah,
what?
and it's just like,
that
why y'all
sounds
so
really evil.
pressed?
That's real. But
They're too pressed for me to have a page. Like, leave me alone. I don't want to be
Yeah.
in social media.
Yeah.
But yes, I can be found on all social media platforms at most popular podcasts. I will also show up as La Dama Popular.
I was about to ask.
Yeah,
that.
because La Dama Popular basically is a Spanish name for popular lady.
Oh.
But because I was La Dama Popular first, because when I first became a musician, I was doing Spanish music, which I also do Spanish music. But I was like, popular lady, that don't sound right. That sounds a little cheesy. So I said, let me just go with most popular because I can use that for all of my businesses.
Got you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Awesome. Well,
Oh, and speaking on that,
Go
I
ahead.
will be transitioning to the Spanish industry as well. I'm going to be interviewing my Hispanic Latino people. So espérenme que voy por ahí, okay?
Yeah, that made my day. I'm not gonna lie, that made my day. Man, I guess I don't have anything else to add. We're gonna wrap up. Again, it's been a pleasure having you. Before we get out of here, like we always do, we want to thank the great establishment that we're at right now, the Atelier, and we want to thank Laddie Howard for having us here and allowing us to record and film in this presence. Again, we're located. The Atelier is located at 2524 Forest Drive, Columbia, South Carolina, and that zip code is 29204.
And if this is your first time tuning in, like and subscribe.
Please.
We really are trying to build a base, and we're
Yep.
trying to build a community here of people that enjoy this type of content.
Yep.
So check back with us if you're tuning in on the podcast. We also have a YouTube channel.
Yes.
And check out our Patreon. where we
Yes, we
have
do
our
have a
arbitrary
Patreon.
conversations, which is a little bit more.
Risque.
Yeah, a little bit more of us just telling you what we think.
Shooting the
about
breeze.
random things.
Yeah, but overall, I mean, everything we're gonna do is positive. It's good stuff, y'all. So I know you'll like it. But until the next time, this is DJ and what?
I'm Mike.
Scoop.
Maya.
And our esteemed guest.
Miss Popular.
And we want to, like we always like to say, I gotta say this. Make sure you tell somebody next time that you love them and you appreciate them. We'll see you on the next episode. Peace.
The Hilltop Girl Podcast.